into new era. Fuel loading of Rooppur power plant starts. A country cannot be democratic without rule of law. BNP lawmakers' remarks turns Parliament chaotic. Militant still exists. Info advisor, Home Minister refutes. Those were the headlines. Good evening, viewers. I'm Riti Prova with English Bulletin. Loading of fuel in Rooppur nuclear power plant has begun. Through this, Bangladesh made history entering into nuclear era. The loading of fuel began through a ceremony on Tuesday afternoon, where high officials from Russian State Atomic Energy Corporation, Rosatom, and Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission were present. It took a decade to build the infrastructure of Rooppur nuclear power plant and achieving the critical skill. 59 Bangladeshi experts were given the operating license to take part in the Rooppur nuclear power plant project. It will take 45 days to load the fuel. 300 megawatts will be added to the national grid in next July-August. After a year, the power plant will be functionally and 1200 megawatt electricity will be added to the national power grid. The country that does not have rule of law and human rights can never turn into a humanitarian democratic state. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman made the remark in his address as chief guest to the inaugural of Legal Aid Day. He said government has chalked out specific plan for ensuring justice for the people who are not financially solvent. Recalling his prison life falling victim to political vengeance, the Prime Minister said justice is not a matter confined within the court. Rather, the pivotal force behind a humanitarian and responsible state. The government has introduced free-of-cost legal aid for people who cannot afford to pay for legal aid. A person needs to call 166 to get this legal aid. A delegation from Chevron Corporation has met Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. The meeting took place at the Prime Minister's office at the Cabinet Division of the Secretariat on Tuesday. Chevron's Base Assets and Emerging Countries Wing President Javier La Rosa and President of Chevron Bangladesh Enrique M. Walker were present at the meeting. Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Iqbal Hassan Mahmood Tuku, Prime Minister's Finance and Planning Advisor Rashid Al Mahmood Titumir and State Minister for Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Aninando Islam Omid were also present at the time. Heated debate fueled up in the Parliament centering remarks from BNP lawmaker freedom fighter Mohammad Fazlur Rahman. During his note of thanks on President's speech, BNP's lawmaker from Kishoreganj 4, Fazlur Rahman said if Liberation War is compared with the mass uprising, then the Liberation War gets demeaned. The Parliament turned chaotic due to one of his remarks against leader of the opposition and Amir of Jamaat Islami Dr. Shafiqur Rahman. The opposition bench told the Speaker to expunge Fazlur Rahman's remarks. Later, Speaker Hafizuddin Ahmed brought the situation under control. Militants existed in the past in Bangladesh and they still exist. The incumbent government wants to bring the number down to zero. Prime Minister's advisor for Information and Broadcasting Dr. Zahidur Rahman made remarks at a briefing at the Secretariat on Tuesday afternoon. He said radicals became active during the time of the interim government. Even flags of IS were hoisted in many places, but interim government did not take any steps about it. The mega projects during the tenure of the interim government is the signature of massive corruption. Incidents of dacoity have increased in the Sundarbans recently. Coast Guard is working to bring the situation under control. 35 dacoits have been arrested in 29 raids. Government is planning to appoint 10,000 new members of Coast Guard along with enhancing facilities to modernize the force. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed made the disclosure after 31st founding anniversary of Coast Guard in capital Agargaon on Tuesday. In reply to another question of the journalist, the Home Minister said there is no militant in the country. 14 Coast Guard personnel were conferred with Gallantry Award under 14 categories. Director General of Coast Guard Rear Admiral Ziaul Haq said drugs worth taka hundreds of crore have been seized in last 1 year during smuggling through river route. Now a short break. We will be back soon with Trump unlikely to accept Iran's latest proposal. FIFA changed yellow card rules for 2026 World Cup. Welcome back. You're watching ATN News. This is English Bulletin. Polls Observer Mission of European Union has not witnessed any sort of election engineering in the 13th parliamentary polls. EU Polls Monitoring Mission made the observation in its final report unveiled at Hotel Intercontinental in the capital on Tuesday. It said the Election Commission worked independently in the 13 parliamentary polls. EU polls observers monitored the 13 parliamentary polls on February 12 along with observers from Canada, Norway and Switzerland.
Maintaining the confidence of stakeholders and upholding the integrity of the polls. The orderly and peaceful election day, followed by a transparently conducted tabulation of results and wide acceptance of the outcome, clearly illustrated how a credible process can propel the renewal of democracy.
Now news around the world. US President Trump signaled he was unlikely to accept Iran's latest proposal to end the conflict, was conveyed via Pakistan, while Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi posted on Telegram that Iran is considering a request by President Donald Trump for negotiations. Media referring sources familiar with the matter as saying Trump conveyed his views during a meeting with top national security officials where Iran's peace plan was discussed. He was not likely to accept the plan, which would reopen Hormuz Strait, while leaving questions about its nuclear program for latest negotiations. Meanwhile, Araghchi said his meeting Monday with Russian President Vladimir Putin included detailed talks over US-Israel aggression and continuous breach of promises that is slowing the diplomatic progress. Putin pledged to do everything to help achieve peace in Middle East, including Iran. The United Arab Emirates said on Tuesday it quit OPEC and OPEC Plus, dealing a heavy blow to the oil exporting groups at a time when the Iran war has caused a historic energy shock and unsettled the global economy. The move came after the UAE criticized fellow Arab states for not doing enough to protect it from numerous Iranian attacks during the war. OPEC Gulf producers have already been struggling to ship exports through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow choke point between Iran and Oman, through which a fifth of the world's crude oil and liquefied natural gas, LPG, normally passes because of Iranian threats and attacks against vessels. The suspect in White House Correspondents Association dinner shooting, Cole Thomas Allen, has been formally charged with attempting to assassinate U.S. President Donald Trump. According to U.S. Department of Justice, Allen, who was arrested after allegedly charging a security checkpoint for the Correspondents Association dinner, was criminally charged Monday with trying to assassinate Trump, who was in attendance at that event on Saturday. He is also charged with transportation of a firearm or ammunition in interstate commerce and discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. A prosecutor said at his arguments in U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. Viewers, will take a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching English Bulletin. Now, sports news. FIFA is poised to change its yellow card suspension rules ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Under the rules, all the yellow cards will be wiped after the group stage and again after the quarter-finals at the World Cup. The governing body will discuss and potentially approve the proposal at a FIFA Council meeting in Vancouver on Tuesday, as preparations continue for the first ever 48-team World Cup. This is a massive shift from previous tournaments where bookings were only reset after the last night. FIFA are considering the rule change because of the expanded format, which introduces an additional knockout round, round 32. Consequently, players will play more matches to reach the next stages. Before ending the bulletin, the top stories once again. Country into new era, fuel loading of Rooppur plant start. A country cannot be democratic without rule of law. BNP lawmakers' remarks turns Parliament chaotic. Militants still exist, Info advisor Home Minister refutes. Trump unlikely to accept Iran's latest proposal. FIFA change yellow card rules for 2026 World Cup. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with ATN News.